welcome back. Today I'm using a 4.5mm hook and of course some Dollar Tree yarn. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot. I'm going to pull the yarn through and then I'm going to do single chains of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there's my 6. I didn't make them too tight or too loose. Then I'm gonna go slip stitch into the very first chain because we're gonna make a circle. So we're gonna just go through, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And there we have our circle. Next I'm gonna chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and that counts as our first double crochet. Then we're going to do 4 double crochets into the middle ring. So yarn over, go through the middle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all. And you're gonna do that 4 times. We have our 4, now we chain 1, then we're going to do 5 double crochets into the middle ring. And now our first scale is done. So the next thing we're gonna do is chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. This part can be a little difficult because it's kind of hard to see, but in between the last 2 double crochets on our first scale, that's where we're gonna make our double crochet. So right in between there. So we're just gonna do a double crochet in between those last 2 double crochets on the first scale. And then we chain 1. And then we go into the middle ring and do 2 double crochets. And now we chain 1 again. And we go in between the first 2 double crochets and do 2 double crochets. So now our setup for our next row of scales is done. The next thing we do is chain 1 and then we're gonna go, these are all considered posts. So all of the double crochets are considered posts and we are gonna do 4 double crochets into the very first post. And I like to go down the post when I'm coming in and up the post when I'm going out. So we're just going down the post with our 4 double crochets. Then we chain 1 and we go into the next post and we're going to do 5 double crochets up the post because we're coming back up. I found that that just makes it easier, it makes it more smooth, and it lays nicer than if I just did random crochets into it. And there we have our second scale done. You can see we went down and then back up. Next thing we do is we're going to skip the 2 posts underneath that lie underneath, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go into the next post after we skipped it, and we're going to do 5 double crochets down that post. Then we chain 1, and we go 5 double crochets up the next post. I find it easiest if you pull the post up that you know you're working on, because then you can go up or down, and I just find that easier. That's just a little tip. There we have 3 scales done. Now you are going to chain 1, and then you chain 3 more after that. So I guess you could just chain 4. I just like to break it down that way, I guess. Then you're going to do double crochet in between the last 2 double crochets like the first time. Then you're going to chain 1, and then do 2 double crochets into the middle ring. Then you chain 1, and you go underneath the chain 1 on our last scales up into the middle of those 2 posts that we skipped the first time, and do 2 double crochets. This way it just helps pull the scales up so they lay nicer. Then you chain 1, do 2 double crochets into the middle ring, and then you chain 1 and do 2 double crochets into the last 2 posts in between those. And there we have the base chain done for our setup for our next row of scales. As you can see, we have room for 3 scales. We'll do 1, 2, and 3. So then we chain 3, do 4 double crochets into the first post, then we chain 1 and do 5 double crochets up the next post. Our scale done. So now we're going to chain 1 and then you always skip the posts that lie underneath your scale and go into the next posts. That's where you'll do your next scale. So we're going to do 5 double crochets down the next post. And by next post, I meant the post after the 2 that we skipped that was underneath our previous scale. Then we chain 1 and do 5 double crochets up the next post. After that, we're going to chain 1, skip the posts underneath our scale, and go into the posts after. And we do the same thing where we do 5 double crochets down that post. And now that is done, you just keep repeating that pattern over and over and over until you get the width that you want. It just keeps growing and growing. But now we're gonna act like we got the width that we want and we wanna decrease it. So we're done increasing, we're gonna decrease. We chain 1 and then we slip stitch into the middle of the ring. So we just do a quick slip. Then we chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we do 2 double crochets underneath the chain 1 of the previous scales into the 2 double crochets that we skipped. Sorry. Then you chain 1, do 2 double crochets into the middle ring. So it's pretty similar to our base row, it's just the ends are a little different. So the middle part's the same, the ends are different. Chain 1 again, go up underneath that single crochet into the 2 double crochets, the post that we skipped. Do 2 double crochets into the middle. then you chain 1, and now the end, we're going to do 1 double crochet into the middle ring instead of 2. Then we chain 1, and there's our base row for our decrease. As you can see, we have enough for 2 scales. So we're going to skip the first post and go 4 double crochets down the second post. So I'm going to pull it up here. There's our second, and we just do 4 double crochets down the second post. Then we chain 1, and we are going to do 5 double crochets up the next post. So our scales don't change, they're pretty much the same, it's just the base changes. So 5 double crochets up that next post. Once you get that done, you chain 1, and you can see we're going to skip again those posts that lie underneath our scale and go into the next posts, and we do 5 double crochets down. So we pull it up, do 5 double crochets down, we chain 1, and we are going to 5 double crochets up the next post. And there you can see we've decreased. Instead of having 3 scales, now we have 2 on top. So now we just chain 1, and then we do 1 double crochet into the middle circle, then we chain 4, then we go underneath the chain 1 of the previous scale and in between the 2 posts we skipped, and do 2 double crochets. Then we do 1 double crochet into the middle, we chain 1, We skip the first post, we go into the second and third post, we do 5 double crochets down the second post. Then we chain 1, and then we do 5 double crochets up the third post. And then we do 5 double crochets up the third post. And now you can see we've successfully decreased back down to 1 scale. So what you can do is you can cut the end of the yarn, and then you will slip stitch the remaining yarn through, and then you can just sew it back in. So I'm just going to show you how to do it just in case you aren't familiar with how to do that. So I'm gonna cut just enough so that I know I can sew it back in, but not too much that it's a lot of yarn left over. Then I slip stitch it through to make it really nice and tight so I know it's not gonna come undone. And then you're just gonna sew it through with a crochet needle. And that is how you make the dragon or alligator scale pattern.